What insect delivers the most painful bite or sting? Gary Nini. In 1983, the American entomologist Justin Schmidt started work on what would come to be known as the Schmidt Pain Index, a ranking system to describe and classify the painfulness of bee, wasp, and ant stings. Like any good scientist, he did his own research, that is, he voluntarily subjected himself to the stings of nearly 80 insect species. After all this grueling investigation, he organized the information he obtained into a scale of 4 tiers. With each rising tier, the pain of the sting intensifies. But how to communicate a quality as intangible as pain? For each insect, Schmidt wrote a vivid, and surprisingly illuminating, description in excruciating detail. Let's start with pain level 1. A sting from a small bee would typically fall into this category. Compared to what's coming up later, these guys are small fry. The accounts of these species offered by Schmidt are quite amusing. He says that the sting of a sweat bee is light, ephemeral, almost fruity. A tiny spark has singed a single hair on your arm. And that of the urban digger bee, pictured, is almost pleasant. A lover just bit your earlobe too hard. Certain fire ants are likened to the mild shock of touching a light switch while standing on a shag carpet. When we get to level 1.5, the pain becomes markedly more appreciable, with insects like the paper wasp joining in. Its sting is burning, throbbing, and lonely. A single drop of superheated frying oil landed on your arm. Now let's turn things up a notch and move to pain level 2. Chances are, if you've been stung by a bee, the culprit was the exceedingly abundant western honeybee. This industrious fellow is the benchmark for level 2. And all other stings on the index were extrapolated down or up from its pain level. Level 2 attacks are often described as being sharp and sudden, expertly clean, or like the shock of being stabbed. Of the pictured western yellow jacket, another common stinger, Schmidt writes, hot, smoky, almost irreverent. Imagine W.C. Fields extinguishing a cigarette on your tongue. At the top end of level 2, the stings become very difficult to bear. Take, for example, the trapjaw ant, a fascinating creature known for its incredible jumping abilities. In addition to having a vicious bite, it has a retractable stinger on its abdomen, which inflicts pain that is instantaneous and excruciating. A rat trap snaps your index fingernail. Alas, it's time to progress to level 3. This agonizing tier is dominated by wasps, such as a particular species of paper wasp. If you find yourself stung by this insect, you'll be treated to a caustic 15-minute ordeal that is like spilling a beaker of hydrochloric acid on a paper cut. In addition to the many wasps, there are a handful of ants categorized in the 3rd level, such as the red harvester ant, whose sting is compared to digging out an ingrown toenail with a power drill. This species is shown below. Now, the pain level you've all been waiting for. The most excruciating echelon of entomological abuse. Pain level 4. Of the 78 different species of insect described by the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, only 3 have managed to deliver enough suffering to merit this accolade. Let's acquaint ourselves with them one by one. Firstly, the tarantula hawk. It's a parasitoid wasp. Its sting paralyzes spiders, within which eggs are deposited. When the eggs hatch, the wasp's offspring begin eating the poor thing alive, killing it from the inside out. Thankfully, we're too big to be paralyzed, but we still get to enjoy. Blinding, fierce, shockingly electric pain. A running hairdryer has just been dropped in your bubble bath. Next, the warrior wasp species Seneca septentrionalis. Unlike the solitary tarantula hawk we just encountered, this insect is eusocial and forms extremely large and aggressive swarms. The description of its sting seems to imply that Justin Schmidt isn't a total masochist. Torture. You are chained in the flow of an active volcano. Why did I start this list? Last, and anything but least, we have the worst of the worst. A beast which inflicts a sting so painful that it practically defies comparison to any other. It's not just rated as level 4, it's literally a 4+. The bullet ant. This insect dwells in the Amazon rainforest and wields a venomous cocktail containing ponerotoxin, an incredibly powerful neurotoxin. Imagine its sting as pure, intense, brilliant pain, like walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail embedded in your heel. What makes this even more horrific is the fact that there are people who are effectively forced to subject themselves to this pain thousands of times over. Brazil's Satirma tribe has a rite of passage in which, to become a man, each boy must wear woven gloves filled with countless bullet ants. The young children must stay cool and wear the gloves for 5 minutes, and then repeat that another 19 times. I wrote about this brutal ritual in much more detail in this answer. So, that brings us to the end of our imaginary journey through pain. To answer your question in short, it is very, very likely that the bullet ant delivers the most painful attack of any insect on this planet. I hope you all enjoyed this, as much as one can enjoy a lengthy description of one man's agony, and have a great day. 122.5K views. View 4,369 upvotes.